So California earlier this week passed cap and trade.
Yeah.
So now that's actually an extension of an earlier legislation. It was supposed to go to 2020, but we're almost there. So they extended it to 2030.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice moment. If you guys didn't see, Jerry Brown and Arnold Schwarzenegger were together, and they raised each other's hands because Schwarzenegger is on the right side of that issue.
Yeah,
and so tell us what that cap and trade does in California and why it's so important.
Well, first of all, it makes Jerry Brown one of the preeminent leaders on this issue in the world. I admire Jerry a lot, and I know there was a little criticism of this detail or that detail, and I get it, but wow, to be able to accomplish that is amazing. And he got 8 Republican members of the legislature, some from very conservative districts, and several Republican governors of other states endorsed the legislation. So what it does is put a price on carbon through the cap and trade mechanism. It greatly benefits Canada as well, because Ontario has joined. Quebec has already joined. Ontario is about to. Mexico. 3 weeks ago, I was in Australia, and I've worked with Chair. I took 4 letters from him to the premiers of the 4 largest states in Australia. It's the same deal there. They got a federal government that doesn't have its act together, but the state governments have a lot of the levers of power. So California is really kind of leading the way in the U.S., but you got a lot of other states too. So it's a very important accomplishment.
Is cap and trade the right way to tackle this issue?
You know, if I had my druthers, I would have a tax on carbon and cap and trade and regulations like requiring a certain percentage from renewables going up each year. But the resistance to a tax of any kind, of course, because of the way the ideological debate has been shaped, makes it easier in most jurisdictions to go for the indirect price on carbon, which cap and trade is. Even in China, by the way. I have a close friend there, Xie Jinhua, who is their top climate guy, works for Xi Jinping. They floated a carbon tax in China, and it met with a lot of resistance from the regional industrial leaders. Of course, it's a dictatorship, but not totally. They pay attention to opinion. So they diverted to a cap and trade there as well. Sweden, probably doing the best job of any country, has both cap and trade and a carbon tax. And eventually, I hope we will have a carbon tax. A revenue neutral carbon tax is something I've supported for more than 25 years. But when I realized that was an almost impossible sell, I said, okay, second best is cap and trade, let's do that. The first President Bush had done that to stop sulfur dioxide and help cure acid rain, and it worked better than a lot of us expected it would. So let's say, well, let's do that. That's when we started this effort, and the Republican authors of the first cap and trade plan immediately switched and said, no, you're for it, now we're against it. Not saying that to me, but to the Democrats who were there then.
Well, where have I seen that movie before? The Heritage Foundation proposed a health care
there you go,
plan.
Same thing.
Right, and once the Democrats—
Good catch.
If you like the Young Turks, you'll love Young Turks membership. TYTnetwork.com/join.